Hey everybody, what's going on? Sorry for the slight late start. YouTube was having some issues, therefore I had to restart the stream. So hopefully you guys were able to make it over here. It looks like we got 24 people right now, so that's good. You guys seem to get yourself over here. Sorry about the late start though. That's what happens. Sometimes YouTube has a glitch. There's nothing I can do about it. But it looks like everything is working now. Hopefully my audio is okay. Hopefully we don't have any buffering issues, but if we do, as you know, these are all being recorded, these live streams, and they'll be up on YouTube later tonight after the broadcast into tomorrow morning. So you can always watch the replay if for some reason your internet is causing some buffering on this. But right now it looks okay. So what are we going to do tonight? Well, tonight we're going to take a look at some reverbs and delays on our mix. We're going to continue on with this mixing series that we've been doing over the last 4 weeks. This is week 5. We're probably going to do maybe 2 more weeks. We're going to do maybe parallel compression next week, and then the following week we'll do some mastering in Ozone and some stuff on the master bus, and we'll do that, and then we'll button this thing up for the end of the year. So if you have not seen parts 1 through 4, they are all on the YouTube channel under the playlist live streams for 2020. You'll see parts 1 through 4. I encourage you to go take a look at that and watch it and let me know what you think. We started right from the beginning of the mix and we're working our way through. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about reverb and delay, on different instrumentation on vocals. We're going to look at a couple different plugins and talk about it conceptually, because I have a lot of opinions about reverb and delay and the way it's misused. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. Right now, though, if you look across the bottom of the screen, this is something that is not really made available to the general public, only for tonight. But unless you're on my VIP email list, you won't have this available to you. This is not even advertised anywhere at homerecordingmadeeasy.com, but I put a Christmas sale on just for my VIP members. 50% off all the courses. If you're watching this tonight, you can use that coupon code now, XMAS50, XMAS50 at checkout. We'll take 50% off all the training courses on the website. That's not made available to the general public. You won't see it published on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter or even on the Home Recording Made Easy website at all, unlike Black Friday where everybody knew about it. This is only really specifically for people who support me and who follow me, okay? People that come to me for the first time on the website, if they're not part of our VIP and they're not on the email list, then they're going to pay full price for the course. So this is something special for you guys. So write down that coupon code. Go check it out. Also, if you're on the email list, you would have received an email that I think tonight is the last night. All the quick mix series that are, again, not on the website, those are private courses. You can't even buy them anymore, are $10 each. I left a link in the chat. If you scroll up to the top of the chat, you'll see there's a link there specifically for the quick mix series. The coupon code is QUICK60. That's QUICK 60. Use that at checkout. You get 60% off all the quick mixes, which will charge you around $9.98 US dollars. That's a steal. If you don't have all of the quick mixes, and there's probably 30 of them up there, and you can listen to each one of the songs and get a sample of each one of the songs for $10, you would be crazy not to pick those up. Again, I only do that for people on my email list. You don't see that anywhere advertised on my website. So I'm doing that specially for you guys for Christmas. Okay, so quick mix series, go to the top of this chat. I don't see David S.J. here. He must be running late, so I'm going to have to work the chat tonight myself, so you're going to have to be patient with me. But I did post a link at the very top of this chat for the quick mix page, because if you go to the website, you won't find the quick mix series. It's not publicized, okay? Get all the quick mixes for $10 as long as you use the coupon code QUICK60, okay? Scroll to the top of the chat, you'll see the coupon code, you'll see the link, check that out. So we got those two things going on for all of you. I hope that helps you, and Merry Christmas to everybody, or Happy Holidays, or whatever you celebrate. I hope your family is safe and healthy, and that's the most important thing as we wind down this crazy, crazy 2020, okay? So if this is your first time here and the first time you're joining us for a live stream, welcome to our family. I appreciate you being here. Make sure, as it says on the screen, that you're subscribed to YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, because I'm posting content up there 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, videos on YouTube. I'm posting things on Facebook and on Instagram that are not part of YouTube, stuff that's not on my website. So make sure you're subscribed to all of that to keep up with what's going on over at Home Recording Made Easy. Also, one more reminder, and again, I'm sure if David makes it here tonight, he'll put all these links in the chat, but mixingmadeeasy.net, open enrollment starts January 1st. You got to go to mixingmadeeasy.net, get your name on the email list. There's an orange button right on the website. The membership is going to be, you'll get notified on January 1st. Membership enrollment is only open for 5 days, and then it's closed for the next 12 months. So if you want to become a member of mixingmadeeasy.net, you need to get on the list, because in a few days, you're going to have an opportunity to join. Okay, so go check that out. That's mixingmadeeasy.net. You guys could find it on your own. Get your name on that email list. Okay. So now that all that racket is done, let's see who's here in the chat, and then we'll jump into Studio One. And yeah, you can see all my links at the top of the page there. So we have DJ's here. Hey, DJ, how is it going? Jim is here. Hey, Jim. Good to see you. Woodbeast. Hey, what's up, brother? How are you? Let's see. Who else? Got a lot of people chatting back and forth. Brett Child's here. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Nerd. Is that Nerd or Nerd Afghanin? Hey, got it back up okay? Donnie's here. Hey, Donnie, what's up? Good to see you too, my friend. Ian's here. Hi, Ian. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Alberto. Hey, Alberto. What's going on, brother? Good to see you as well. Tom Kaplan. Hey, Tom. How are you, my friend? Who else? Everyone chatting back and forth. Okay, cool. Everyone is here. I will definitely do. Randall's here. Hey, Randall. How you doing, brother? I will definitely do a Q&A at the end of this. Again, without my moderator. He may just be running late. Hopefully, Dave is okay. He started a new job, so I know he's really busy. And so anyway, I will. RG7. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. I won't be checking the chat too much during the demonstration, but I'll get to it at the end as I always do, and we'll forge our way through. So if you have any questions at all, let me know. And then last but not least, if this live stream is helpful to you in any way, and you feel like you're being generous and you want to donate a cup of coffee to Uncle Dave, feel free to use the super chat. That really does help me. It allows me to carve out time in my schedule so I could do these things for you week after week after week after week at no charge. Okay. And I try to give away a ton of stuff for free. I put two new videos out this week. I got 2 new videos coming out next week. I'm trying to give you guys a ton of stuff. So anything that you guys are willing to donate is so appreciated. So thank you in advance. Okay. Enough of that. Let's get on. Oh, I didn't even put up the chat room, did I? Here's our chat room. I'll get ourselves ready to get into Studio One. Sorry about that. Sorry I didn't put up the chat there. Again, I'm running a little out of sorts today with YouTube screwing me up. Tony's here. Hey, Tony, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. I'm glad you're all here, and I hope you're all having a great week. If you're on the East Coast, you got a ton of snow. We got 10 inches of snow here on the East Coast, which kind of sucked. So you know what I did most of yesterday, right? Okay, so let me bring up Studio One here, and we will get rolling, okay? So let me get my Studio One session up here. Let's talk. Dave says he is here, but he's not showing up in the chat. He's not appearing in the chat for some reason, but David is here. That's kind of weird. Why aren't you appearing in the chat, my friend? You should be. I know. Oh, Dave, I know I had to. Well, you're listening. I know I had to restart the stream because YouTube was having a problem and everything was buffering. But the stream key was exactly the same. So the link in the email. Maybe you have to restart the thing. I don't know. Depending on when you showed up, that is kind of weird. You should be in the. You obviously should be in the chat, but I don't see you there either for some strange reason. So that's kind of strange. Try restarting things, Dave, and see on your end and see what you get. I did have, like I said, I did need to refresh everything. So maybe if you clear out of the YouTube channel, come back in and then do that, that might work. Hey, Donnie, thank you for the donation, brother. I really do appreciate it. You of all people. Thank you. Thank you, Robbie Craig. Hey, Robbie, what's going on, my friend? Thank you so much. You're welcome for the free content. That's what I'm here. I'm trying. Hey, Terry, what's up? Trying to do as much content for you guys as humanly possible. And if you think 2020, in 2020, I have to count them. I did well over 100 videos on YouTube. I was doing 3 a week at one point, but I did 2 steady every single week. That doesn't include the 20 episodes of the podcast that was also put on YouTube, not only on my website as a video. And I've already recorded 15 more episodes of the podcast, which start the first week of January. And 2021, man, I got a ton of mixing tips, home production tips, home studio, a lot more video content coming. as well as probably a couple, not a couple, there'll probably be 2 webinars we're going to do. And I'm also probably going to, I think I'm going to develop and release a mixing masterclass, which will go beyond Mixing Made Easy Volume 2 Advanced, the next step. Okay, that one it's going to probably take me 6 months to develop it, but I really want to do something that's really even more involved than what I did in Mixing Made Easy Volume 1 and Volume 2 for all my advanced people. I got a ton of stuff coming next year, a ton. And most of it is free. Most of it's going to be on YouTube for free. You know, there's going to be some paid stuff on the website, which I know a lot of you guys will support. And I'll say thank you up front because you guys support everything I do and I love you for it. But there's going to be a lot of free stuff. Is much more videos on YouTube than what you've seen this year. Plug-in demos, mixing tips, stuff for if you want to develop yourself, you know, if you're looking to be, you know, make some money in your home studio. I know with COVID and the lockdown and some people have unfortunately you know, lost their employment and they're looking to kind of refine themselves in a new way. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff around that over 2021 and in 2022, because this stuff is going to take me well more than a year to get it all together. Anyway, okay, Terry. Hey, Terry, thank you so much for the donation. It's very, very kind of you guys. I really do appreciate it. It does help me. You have no idea how much it helps me. Okay, so that's great. So let me get up Studio One here. Okay, David S.J.'s here. He says he's here, but he can't get in the chat. I have no clue why. He's going to try to fix it on his end. He's pretty computer savvy, so I'm sure he'll get it fixed. It probably got something to do with me having to reboot the live stream, which again, I apologize up front. So if David shows up in the chat, he'll be helping you guys monitor, you know, waiting your way through questions and stuff. But let's get Studio One up here. And let me change over my camera here. Here we go. And let's check this out. So this week we're going to talk about reverb delay. Okay, now, first things first. Reverb and delay is something that I use in a very sparing way. And by the way, a lot of professional engineers do, okay? There's two, I think I might have said this when we talked about compression a few weeks ago when we were talking about that. There are 2 things that I hear right away in a beginner mixer, or someone who's a musician, records at home and tries mixing their stuff for the first time, or someone who only has a few months, maybe 6 months up to a year's worth of experience, that kind of stuff. The 2 things that are most misused are reverb, delay, and compression. Okay, they overcompress because compression is the hardest thing for someone new to tune their ears into and to actually hear it. And the only way they can really hear what's going on audibly is to jack it up and to squash the hell out of the track. But that's how they hear it. Okay, that's the only way. But the second thing is reverbs and delays. They tend to drown everything in reverbs or make things that doesn't sound natural. And so the way and again, there is a time and a place for when you want to overuse reverb and hear this big, lush, huge types of reverb. There are certain styles of music where that makes sense, depending on what you're doing. But for most popular music, most stuff, blues, country, rock, jazz, you know, pop, dance, that kind of stuff, even rap is even usually really dry. Reverbs and delays are really used as subtle, more thickeners to make the track sound a little bigger with a sense of depth than really as a wash, okay? And so when I use reverb, like on a track that we've been working on, which is kind of a pop track, pop, light rock, whatever you want to call it, you know, the song I'm All Right Here by Angels and Amplifiers, what ends up happening is we don't need to have a ton of reverbs and delays, okay? So let's start here. So what I've done off camera here, just to make things simpler, is down at the end of my tracks here, my last track here in yellow being the background vocal, I put 4 effects tracks. I actually use buses in Studio One. I call them effects tracks, but they're not effects tracks, they're buses. And I have 1 for drums, 1 for the guitars, 1 for the keys, and 1 for the vocals to keep it simple. What did I do here? I didn't do anything on the keys here. I'm going to put this here. And we're going to look at a couple of plugins tonight. We're going to take a look at what you just saw, the CLA Epic, which I just did a full YouTube video on. You can go check that out. I'm still new to it, but I want to show you how with the CLA Epic, how you can do some things with it and use some of the presets that are really, 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 really good. And then also we're going to take a look at a T-Rex reverb here for the drums. Okay. So I've set those up and I got everything turned down. So let's start with our drums. Okay, so here is our solo, kind of our drum sound that we're working with that has tape machines, console emulations, a channel strip, all that stuff. Again, if you missed parts 1 through 4, go watch 1 through 4 where we talk about all of that stuff. Okay, here's our drum sound. Okay, sounds good. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I want to introduce you. Oh, Tom, thank you so much for the donation, brother. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to keep my eye on that. It does pop up and I could see it. I don't want to miss a live stream and give you guys a thank you and a shout out. Tom, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I want to introduce you to something that this was on sale recently I bought this for $40. This is the T-Rack Sunset Sounds. Now, the only plugin that I would typically use, there are only 3 types of reverb plugins that I have that I would typically use on drums. The one that I love the most is the Universal Audio Ocean Way, which I have. The reason why I'm not showing you that here is because most of you in this room don't have a Universal Audio rig, and if you do, you may not have the Ocean Way plugin because it's $300 or $400, which is a little pricey, to be honest. But where they actually modeled in what you were listening, it's not a reverb, it's actually the emulation of the actual Ocean Way studios, couple of studios. This plugin that came out, I think last year maybe, by T-Rax, and again, as you know, or if you don't know, I've said this before, I'm not a huge fan of the T-Rax plugins. There's a handful of them that I like. This is one of them. Most of their ones are kind of I have a lot of them. I bought a lot of them last year. I've used some of them in the mixingmadeeasy.net content. You've seen some reviews on the YouTube channel. There are some other ones I have to check out, but so far they don't blow any wind up my skirt. Okay? But there's a couple that are really good. This is one of them, and their tape machines are really good, and we talked about that in the tape machine video a few weeks ago. Okay? Sunset Sound is good. Sunset Sound is like the Ocean Way in that it's not a reverb, it's the modeling of the live natural reverb of the studio of Sunset Sound. Okay, which is really cool. So what we have here is we have a bunch of presets up here. I picked a preset, we're going to tweak it. They have chambers, live rooms, 3 different, we have some plates, we have some roomy stuff. We got all kinds of cool stuff. Springs, everything. Okay, so you can pick a preset. You have your power button up here on the top. We have our input level. We can put it in mono if you want to make it mono. Got a cool logo here, Sunset Sound. You gotta love the layout of this thing. Also, what I like about this too is you can resize the plugin just by doing this. Again, most plugin companies are now starting to go to this, and I always give them props when they do. The ones that don't, I still don't understand it. Universal Audio. They really should. This is a beautiful interface. You have reverb types. You got chambers, okay? And then you have Studio 1 chamber, Studio 2 chamber, Studio 3 chamber, okay? You have live rooms, Studio 1, Studio 2, Studio 3, okay? You have ISO booths, 1, 2, and 3, okay? And you have some spring plates. Cool, right? Really cool. Okay. We have down here some pre-delay. We have decay. We have some high-pass filters. We can EQ the lows and the highs of our reverb. We have low-pass filters. We have a width knob here. If we want to make it width, we could go LCR or stereo. We have a wet-dry thing here. Really cool. Okay. Nice, fully featured plugin. So on drums, which is what this is on, I'm going to send all my drums to this. Oh, we also have this option here where, let's see, Live Room Studio 3, you can have some dampening if you want to dampen the room, because they probably have movable sound absorption, which is really cool. If it's a little too lively and you want to dampen it down a little, you can do that. You can also change the phase. We'll start with 0. Info, here's the Live Room Studio 3, and it gives you a little info about the studio, about the room itself. Okay, some famous bands, such as Van Halen. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube about Sunset Sound. If you search Van Halen Sunset Sound, recently they've done lots of videos with the unfortunate pass of Edward Van Halen, talking about when Van Halen recorded their first 4 or 5 records here. All the David Lee Roth stuff was done there. A lot of interesting tidbits there about people that were actually there. They pulled some of the old documents out of the files, showed what rooms they were using, pulled out the track listing, talk about how certain things were recorded. They've listened back to some of the raw recordings in the studio. A lot of great interesting information if you're an engineer, a mixer, or just a music fan, and especially a Van Halen fan. You get some real good history about Sunset Sound and Van Halen, and I think that's really cool. You can also take this, what's this 360 thing? Can you actually, yeah, you can actually turn the room around and you can see the room here. I'm just using a left click and dragging my mouse so you can see our room, our studio. This is live room 3, studio 3. Here's studio 2 or studio 1. Bigger room, has bricks on the wall. It's going to have different sound. Here's some of the portable gobos here. Studio 2, it's going to be a little bit different with this tile floor, more angled walls, much taller ceiling it looks like in Studio 2. Then Studio 1 doesn't have as high of a ceiling as Studio 3, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this on the live room. This is for the drums. I'm gonna send all my drums to it here. So let's check this out. So I'm gonna do this as a send. So we have kick, snare, toms, and overheads. So I'm gonna send this over to our drum verb, and I'm gonna do this all pre-fader. And the reason why you do it pre-fader, if you don't know, so that it's completely independent, the signal level, and it doesn't get adjusted when you turn up and down the output fader here on the individual track. Okay, so you want to do things pre-fader. Every DAW is going to do it a little different. Studio 1, you're going to click on this little doohickey here, and it's going to go from blue, which is post-fader, to pre-fader. And the send level here, which I hate in Studio 1, starts at a -6. I'm going to make it at 0 dB. But on the kick drum, sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually turn it down a little bit. We're going to do this on the 4 tracks. Oh, and the percussion as well, because I have the percussion go into the drum bus just for sake of ease, okay? Everything's at 0 dB. I'm going to lower the send level on the kick drum a little bit because I typically don't like a lot of reverb on the kick, but every track's a little different, right? Okay? And everything is straight up the middle, so we don't have to worry about any kind of panning, and everything is being routed to this drum verb right here. Okay, which has Sunset Sound on it. So let's play this back and let's experiment a little. Okay, so you don't have to turn up very much. Let's just cycle through the rooms. A lot less lively. So, I mean, it's total, these 3 rooms, just without touching a single dial, sounds completely different. So you have a lot of variety here. Okay, now like in Studio 1, I think it's too lively sounding, but what happens if we dampen it a little? That helped a little. Interesting. I kind of dig Studio 2 for this example. Okay, now we could do things like we can, you know, take out some of the lows. You want a little darker. The highs. You want the tail, the reverb to be a little brighter. You could change the decay to tweak it in. So this is really nice for room emulation, which is really what this is. I know it's a reverb, but I don't think of it as a reverb. I think like a Slate Digital Verb Suites Classic. This is different in my mind. This is a room emulation. This is a great plugin to have. And if you could get this on sale for 30 or 40 bucks, buy this for sure. So let's see what's, hold on here. Let me just check my Dave's. I want to try to get Dave, get our moderator in here. Hold on. He's being listed as a spammer. That's weird. Let's see. I'm here. Okay. You think it's listed as a channel. So when you get a chance, check your dashboard to see if I'm blocked. Hold on a second here, everybody. Let me see if I can do that. Let me go back to the chat here for a second. We'll get Dave in here somehow because he can help you guys because he's really good at keeping track of everything and helping out. Sorry about this. But hey, what are you going to do? Stuff happens, right? This is what happens here. YouTube. I don't know why he would be as a spammer, but I will check. Well, I'll try to check. If I can do this in 5 minutes, Dave, I'll figure it out for you. I don't know if I can, but we will try. We will try. Well, that's bright. Let's see here. Let's see. Change your No, you're there as a moderator, dude. You don't look like you're blocked. I mean, not according to this anyway. So I don't know why. Let me just see. You're not blocked, are you? No, I don't see you as being blocked. As a matter of fact, you're listed as the moderator, so I know that's right. Let me just double check. You're not blocked, right? Nope. So David SJ, you are there as a moderator. It doesn't show you as being blocked in any way. So I'm not sure what that is. Let me just check and see in here on the dashboard and see if it has something here with your name on it that is causing us an issue. Viewer activity. We'll get back to it, guys. Don't worry. We'll be there. I don't see anything on the dashboard that would suggest that there's anything or anyone being blocked at all. I don't know, Dave. That's weird. I know you're here and I know you're not showing up. But like I said, I don't see anything here that suggests there's anything weird going on with your sign in or anyone's for that matter. So I don't know. Everything seems to be working the way it would be. Let me just check the live chat. Is there anything? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know, Dave. I'm sorry, brother. I don't know. It must be something. It's just something weird going on, but you don't, it seems fine. I don't see anything. It's being blocked or spammed or anything. And you are still listed on the channel as a moderator. So I'm not really sure, my friend. I apologize for that. Let's get back into Studio One here. Okay. Sorry guys. Sorry for the audible there. Okay. So let's get back into Sunset Sound. Sounds really good. Now, if I were to bypass this, that's before, no reverb. Right, so it gives it a lot of space. And when you bring in the rest of the band, it starts to be a little less obvious, and then we could tweak it from there. So the key to something like this is, again, you want things to sound natural. You don't want things to sound big and washy. Because remember now, when you use reverb or stuff like this, if you do too much of it, what's it going to do? It's going to push whatever instrument you're putting this on in the back of the mix. It's going to push it away from you. Okay, so if you use too much of it, it's going to sound like the drums are way in the background and like a tunnel, and we don't want that. Not for this kind of a mix. We don't want that. Okay. So that's the sunset sound, which I think is really cool. Now, again, they have other things like maybe on guitars we can use sunset. We'll use Epic in a second. Let me use sunset sound also on the guitars, the acoustics, because maybe we can try another setting here just to play with it a little. Okay, so let's see what we have. Let's send our acoustic guitars to this. We'll go guitar reverb, and again, we'll do pre-fader on these two acoustics. Get a loop over here where they're kind of playing. Okay, so let's take a look at some other presets, like something that's not something, maybe more of like a, let's see, what else do they have here that we can use? Now, here's the other thing too, and this is, we'll try a couple of different things here. But sometimes what I like to do with instrumentation is put them all in the same space. So again, so it sounds natural. That's another thing that you got to be careful of. You don't want to put, if you have, drums, acoustic guitars, piano, and vocal, have 5 different types of reverbs going on, because that can make things sound a little unnatural as well. But let's just do something like, let's check like a spring just to see what this does. So let's use like a spring, and let's just see what this sounds like here on these acoustic guitars. We can use a plate too. Another kind of plate. Sounds really nice. I kind of like the spring. Maybe a little bit of pre-delay. Roll back the decay a little bit. So you don't need very much. Okay, so now in solo, that sounds like a lot to me, but when we bring in our drums and our bass, you're going to see how it's going to blend nicely. That's before on the guitars. Okay, so when you blend it in with the rest of the band, it doesn't sound to be too much. This is really nice. I only used this a few times. I've just recently bought it, by the way. I demoed it. I did a review on the YouTube channel probably earlier in the year, but it was a demo. And then I finally went out and bought it in Black Friday because, like I said, I got it for like $40 or something ridiculous like that. It's worth that. Reverbs and delays are tough. If you're someone who's a stock plugin user, stock reverbs and delays typically don't sound very good. They sound very hollow. They sound very uninspiring. They sound very kind of blah, typically. Reverbs and delays, good ones are usually pretty expensive. You don't need to have a lot of them, but like this is something that I would recommend that you have in your collection, or something like this. This is a good one. Okay. Now let's go to like keyboards, and let's check out this CLA Epic. I usually don't put bass in with reverb on bass either, by the way, typically. Now, again, there's a whole review on the YouTube channel about this. I'm not going to go through every single feature of this plugin. We'll be here for an hour. The thing about this plugin, and I've already gotten lots of emails about it, followers, when I first did the review, when it first came out, people told me what I thought. People found this very confusing because there's a lot to it, but it is actually quite simple. And what I love about it, and what I highly recommend if you end up with this plugin, and I think it was $39 and it was on sale. It's worth $39 that you use the presets, because the presets in this are excellent, and we'll demonstrate some of those. So what I love about this plugin, it's just another delay with another reverb that are really good, but I already have 15 different delays and reverbs that sound equally as good. But here's the thing about this plugin that makes this unique, is the fact that you're able to blend 4 different types of delays into, if you choose to, 4 different types of reverbs. And you can, and by having those different combinations, you can really give a nice sense of depth and such to things that you wouldn't typically do on your own. If you've been following me for any length of time and we talk about vocals, you've seen me do the delay into a 3 different reverb process that I use for most lead vocal chains. It's a way to make things sound big and full without sounding washy. So I send the lead vocal to a delay on a separate track, right? Then to a room reverb, a plate, and a hall, okay? Manually. You've seen me do that before if you've been following this channel for any length of time. It's easy to do, but it takes some time. You got to set it up. You have to choose all your plugins and you got to kind of blend everything together. This does all of that in one plugin, which is what I like. So this is a piano. So let's take a look at some of the CLA stuff. And there's a ton of other artist presets. Some of them are good. Some of them are you'd have to experiment with them. However, I will say most of them are great. And you can find a preset in here that would work for almost anything that you have that you can just tweak minor depending on what you want, so you don't have to set it all up from scratch. I would encourage you to go watch my YouTube video to see all the routings and how everything works. Okay, we're not going to go too deep into this tonight. I just want to show this to you. And I'm still kind of new to this one myself, but I love the CLA stuff. So here's Piano Man. Okay, so what does Piano Man do? It's like a Billy Joel thing, right? So Piano Man has 2 different delays going into 2 different reverbs. So our first delay here, if you were to look over here, is a tape delay. Right now it's muted, okay? So we're not using that for this particular preset. The second delay is a throw, like a delay throw. That's not being used right now. The third is a slap, which they are using. And the fourth is a crowd, which is like kind of a big space, and he has it kind of tight. And you have some different controls you can do in each one of these delays, okay? Now, those right now are only being routed to the output. They're not being routed into the reverb. Now, you can do that if you want to, and it changes the sound a little bit. Kind of like what I do, like I said, manually, where you could go from a delay into a reverb, into a reverb, or into a reverb. You can do that here by using this little routing grid up here in the delay section. Right now, this particular preset is just routing the delay to the output as well as routing the reverb to the output. And he has it at a 50% wet dry mix. When I use it as a send like this, I would probably turn this to 100%, but we'll leave it at 50 for now. Okay. Now on our reverbs, you have a plate reverb, which is not being used. The second one is a room reverb, which they are using in this preset. The third is a hall, which they're not using. And the fourth is like a big space. So let's just see what the hell this sounds like on a piano. Okay. Let's just see if we can find something that sounds good. Let's solo up the piano. Here we go. Where's our piano? Let's get a nice thing at the end here where the piano's kind of playing, and let's check this out. Not going to send it to the piano. That would be helpful. So let's go over to the keys verb. Again, pre-fader, 0 dB. So already that sounds freaking great. That's before, after. Now that's at 50%. That's why I got it turned up. So if I turn this to 100% wet, I'd have to turn this down. It will be too much. That's before, no reverb, no reverb delay. So, I mean, that sounds great. It's like, okay, that would work. I mean, there's nothing to even do there. I mean, you can tweak around. You have low pass and high pass filters. You could do all kinds of stuff with this if you really wanted to get crazy with it. But again, I'm all about reverbs and delays, keeping things simple, keeping things natural. You can get nuts if you want to. You can automate this thing during different sections of the song, but in its most basic form, let's just use that preset and let's bring in the rest of our band and let's see what it sounds like. sounds great. Now, if I were to take away these 3 reverbs that we just used, the sunset sound, the on the guitars and on the keys, can we do little ones like that? Yeah, okay. Having a hard time muting these for some reason. When I use streaming software, sometimes this little thing doesn't work with the shift key. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. It should. It's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. Okay. Come on. Mute, would you? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it singly. Okay, there's no reverb at all on these 3 tracks. So you don't even really realize the reverb is there until I stop it. It just makes things sound a little bit fatter and gives everything a little bit more width because of the reverb will do that. Okay, and that's just quickly dialing something in. But you notice how it's subtle. You don't notice that it sounds like something's in a tunnel because that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to do things in a very subtle way. So the Epic is really good for just doing that, just picking a preset. You can also, if we wanted to, let's just say, pick another preset. If you wanted to just experiment. This was what? This was Piano Man. So in this one, we're using 3 different delays. We're using the tape, we're using the slap, and we're using the crowd, but we're only using 1 reverb, which is the space reverb. And again, they're not being routed into each other, but you can. So let's say you wanted to route, let's say the slap, the tape, and you wanted to route that into this number 4 reverb here. You'd click up here, this little grid, and route it to number 4. See that? So it changes the sound a little bit, that you're actually putting reverb on the delay as opposed to the delay going out the output and the reverb going out the output, right? So you can see that I have the 3 delays that we're using are being routed to the reverb, which is just this space reverb. And it just changes it. Now this is called the club gig. It's a little bit tighter reverb and delay sound. So now if I bring that into the mix, so, I mean, again, this, it's just a matter of taking a preset and tweaking it to your liking. Now, again, you could get lost in this plugin. It's one of the things I don't like about it, is that you could tweak this thing to death. And unless you really know specifically what you're going for, you will make, in my mind, you could mess up your tracks more than you're helping them. So I would encourage you to use this in a very simplistic way. Pick a preset, tweak it a little bit to your liking. You can play with the levels of blend, but what I'm finding, at least with the presets that I've used, especially the ones by CLA, those specific presets, and we'll see when we get to vocals in a second, they just sound good. They just sound great. And what I like about this is that you typically, on a piano part, I would never typically set up 3 different delay tracks with 2 or 3 different reverbs. I wouldn't do that the way I do with vocals. I just wouldn't. That's just not something I would do. So this gives you a little bit more, you know, creative freedom, and it also will get you a chance to do things with reverbs and delays on certain instruments that maybe you wouldn't typically do, and all the work's already done for you, right? So let's check out the vocal. Let's listen to that instead, and let's see what we have for a lead vocal here. And let's do the same thing with Epic. Let's just see what presets we can use as a starting point.
I know the season's ripe for change.
Okay, so let's route our vocals, our lead vocals, to the vocal verb. We'll do a pre-fader. Okay, let's bring up Epic again, and let's see what we have. Okay, and let's go to a vocal preset. So CLA, vocals, vocal 1. Why not? So vocal 1 is using 2 delays. It's using a slap and a crowd going into only 1 reverb. Going into the plate. It's not going into the plate. It's actually the reverb we're using as a plate. They're not routing the delay into the reverb on this one. Let's just see what it sounds like. He's only got the mix at 35%.
It's changing all around. I know the reasons you've arranged.
So I think the way some of these are set up, when you go to the presets, you'll see under the artist presets. Let me get to some of them. You see like this one here where it says the preset name and then the word send. That means you're using it the way I'm using it, kind of as a send, as opposed to using it as an insert, which is where maybe some of these other ones are being used. You can use them as either, and you can adjust the wet dry thing. Usually when you have a mix less than 100%, it's because it's being used as an insert. Typically I'll put this up to 100%.
They're tearing me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine?
Okay.
Where will my heart come back to life?
So maybe a little less
I'm
reverb.
all right. As I pick up the pieces that are left of me, I'm all right. Being away from you.
Now I may say, well, I like the plate, but I also want to do kind of the thing that I used to do with the delay and the 3 reverbs. So maybe my plate, maybe I'll also bring in my room. Why not? Because I would typically do that. And I'd have a little less of that. And then maybe I would go to my hall. Okay, and then maybe I'd put my delays into those reverbs like I would normally set them up. So I would send, I think you could set them up into, yeah, you can set them, I'm going to put them in all 3. Well, let's just see what this sounds like. I don't know if it's going to be too much. Okay, so now I have both of my delays being used, all being routed into my 3 reverbs. That's typically what I would do manually. Let's see how much of a train wreck it sounds.
And I'll be fine. Cleaning out the corner, putting back in order. But no, I will always have this too. Of the seasons ripe for change.
That sounds about what I would normally do. Let's bring it in with the band and let's see what we have.
It's changing all around. I know the reasons you arranged. You're tearing me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine?
That's no reverb on the vocal.
Where will my heart come back to life? I'm alright. As I pick up the pieces that are left of me, I'm alright. Feel away from you.
Really gives a nice sense of thickness. Now again, I only did the lead vocal. Let's do the background vocals too, just so during the chorus we can hear all of them.
I'm alright. As I pick up the pieces that are left of me, I'm alright. Feel away from you. And I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, putting back in order.
Sounds pretty good.
No, I will always have this too. The seasons ripe for change. It's changing all around. I know the reasons you arranged. You're tearing me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine? Where will my heart come back to life?
Okay, so here's with no reverb on anything that we've done so far. Here's where we're at.
I'm alright. As I pick up the pieces that are left of me, I'm alright. Feel away from you. And I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, putting back in order. No, I will always have this too. The seasons ripe for change. It's changing.
So again, when you're playing this back, if I wasn't turning them on and off, you wouldn't even know that they were there, right? That's the point, okay? Again, I'll say that I've said this a million times to my students in private training and in Mixing Made Easy and stuff. Use reference tracks when you're mixing, okay? Most popular music isn't drowned in reverb. Use reference tracks so you could hear that. People think that reverb is used a lot in popular music. It is as a thickener, as a subtle effect. It's not used to drown things out. And again, it's one of the number one things I hear with beginner mixers is they use way too much reverb and delay and everything sounds like it's in a wind tunnel, okay? Be careful about that. Be subtle. You can use, like in this case, we have, 4 different reverbs and we have some delay plugins. So lots of effect on the track, but it's all done in a very subtle way. So it just blends and thickens. It doesn't wash. Now, if you're looking for a washy effect and you have, let's say, something like a piano, piano ballad, piano singer, vocal singing, piano playing, something like that. And you want that big ambiance kind of a thing. You want the thing to wash out. That's different. That's a different thing. Okay. But in this kind of thing where you have a lot of instrumentation, you want to keep things very subtle. You want it to sound natural. Again, I think we talked about this last week. I think it was last week or the week before. I forget. I do so much training with you guys. I forget which weeks I tell you things. But when I'm mixing and I'm looking at the screen, like I'm looking at the camera and there's my screen in front of me, I'm visualizing in my head, I'm visualizing a band on stage. Okay, we talked a little about this. So where do I want to pan things? If I'm watching the band on stage and I'm sitting 25 feet in front of the stage and I'm watching this band, how are things positioned? Where are things positioned? What does the band sound like as far as reverb and delay goes? You'll hear the natural ambience of the room. And if the room is somewhat full and you have, if you're in a bar and you have tables and chairs and all kinds of things, you don't have a real high reflections. Things don't sound wet and washy. Usually you'll have a little bit of reverb on the guitars and stuff, some reverb and delay on the vocals, but things are not washy. And so I use that as kind of another way to kind of guide me to make sure I don't overdo things. Okay. So that's how I would recommend you start with reverbs and delays. This Epic plugin is a great plugin. I don't know if the regular price is $200 or something like that. It's a little much. But not really. I guess if you think about it, if you're getting really 8 plugins in one, if you're getting 4 different reverbs and 4 different delays, even at $200, that's a hell of a deal. But if you could pick it up during this holiday season for $30 or $40, get this. Now the free one that they have, which is what do they call that? I downloaded that. That only gives you, it's half of what this plugin is. This is much better, I think, than that free one. And I would say if you're looking for something, a little different, again, I'm all about trying to bring you guys things that are a little different. That's not just the standard run-of-the-mill thing, because we already got 1,500 of those, right? This is a little different. And so this is something you may want to take a look at with reverbs and delays. So the lesson here, again, is put things in natural spaces, make things sound organic and natural. That's the first thing. Second thing, do not overdo it. Do not wash things to death. Use reference tracks so you can hear in a commercial mix whatever track you're trying to kind of emulate, for your mix. Use that track to see, well, how much reverb and delay is on their guitars? Do I even hear any reverb and delay? You probably won't. It'll be there, but it'll be very subtle. How much is on the lead vocal? How much is on the snare drum? Those kinds of things. Really use reference tracks to tune your ear into what it really ought to sound like, and be careful with it. Don't overdo it. Just like on compression, I would rather hear a mix that was a little underwhelming and say to you, hey, you need a little more space here. Give it a little bit more boost on the wash. Then send something that sounds like it's way overcooked. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay. So that's our demonstration on reverbs and delays. Again, check out Sunset Sound. I think it's a great plugin. Room emulation. Okay. Now, there's other great reverbs out there, and I've showed you all kinds of great reverbs, like the Verb Suites Classic by Slate, great reverb. T-Rax makes some also good singular plugins. But check out Sunset Sound. I think you'll like it. And again, I would highly recommend Epic. It's a cool plugin. I think it's different, and you could play around with it and check that out. Next week, we'll talk about parallel compression and how we can really jazz this track up a little bit more. So I hope you found this demonstration helpful. I'm really sorry that I know David here is in the chat, but he can't do anything from from an administrative standpoint. Let's go back to the chat now. And let's see who's here. We still got 58 people here. This is great. Okay, so because Dave is unable to put things in the chat, I'm going to go back to the main screen here for a second so you guys can write down this coupon code. Okay, this will go out tomorrow only to people that are on my email list. Okay, so this is kind of a special. If you guys are not on my email list, you're getting something that the general public will not be getting. Our Christmas sale, our 50% Christmas sale, the coupon code is XMAS, XMAS 50, XMAS instead of Christmas, 50 off all the courses. You can use that right now as we sit here. So you can open up another web browser. You could get 50% off any of the courses on the website. The other thing is I put, again, and I guess I could copy it here if you're interested. And tonight is the last night for this. It's the Quick Mix. The Quick Mix series is 60%, Jesus, that's so bright, is 60% off. You could get a Quick Mix for $10. You'd be crazy not to pick those courses up for $10. Again, you can't get those. The general public can't buy those. They're not on the website. Let me put the link in the chat for you guys. Shows you how much I appreciate Dave being here. Okay, so here is the Quick Mix. And the coupon code is Quick60. Okay, there's it. And there's the link. Okay, Quick60 at checkout. Take 60% off any of the Quick Mix courses. Click on that link in the chat. Okay, that means you'll get that one for $9.98 US dollars. There are 3 years, I think, or 2.5 years worth of Quick Mixes on there. You'll never find them again for $10. The general public can't even buy them. That sale ends in 3 hours from now. It ends at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So go pick those up. Okay. So for Christmas coming up next week, I'm giving you 50% off all the courses. Doesn't include the Quick Mix because the Quick Mix you can't just buy, and 60% off the Quick Mix stuff. So go get your training. Go get your training. And the other thing, and again, I guess I'll put it up here again. If you want to get into mixingmadeeasy.net, let me hold on. If you go to mixingmadeeasy.net, member enrollment is on January 1st or January 5th. Okay. At the end of January 5th, it's closed for an entire year. You can't get in. Can't get in. Go to mixingmadeeasy.net, click on the button, put your name on the email list. You will get an email, and you'll probably get several during that week to urge you to sign up. If you want to join, now's the time to join, okay? You will learn a massive amount about mixing, more so than anything I'm teaching you here on YouTube. Way more than anything I'm teaching you here on YouTube. You will learn, I'll go back to the chat room now. You will learn at mixingmadeeasy.net. It is amazing what people have, how much the students there have grown. Every month we give away free plugins. I just hooked up with Fuse Audio Labs this week. They're another new sponsor of mixingmadeeasy.net. I did a demo today of one of their new preamp plugins. I got 6 other plugins. They gave me a bunch of licenses. We're going to be giving those away. I have a ton of plugins to give away. I just gave away 3 the other night. So awesome. If you guys want to check it out. Okay. So mixingmadeeasy.net. Get on and get in and get involved. Get involved. So now let me answer any questions that you guys have. Again, I'm so sorry. Dave is here, but sorry he can't do anything from a moderator standpoint. But what we're going to have to do, Dave, is add your different accounts to the moderator. So if one of your accounts isn't working, they'll all be working. But let me see if I can answer some questions for people here. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Donnie says, Quick Mix, just join Quick Mix. It's awesome. Yeah, it is. It's not even a membership thing. It's a single course. You buy it and download it. You get all the multi-track files. It's crazy. It's crazy. I know Donnie probably has every one that's ever been put out. Let's see. Jimmy Farmer's got to go to work. Hey, Jimmy, what's going on? And we're mixing one of Jimmy's songs. I started your song yesterday. It's coming together nicely. It's coming together nicely. Let's see. Milkman says, I picked up 5 of those Quick Mixes. Oh, great deal. Thanks, Milkman. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Let's see. Ian says, Dave, I'd like to see mastering version 5 using some of your favorite plugins. Go buy Mastering Made Easy. Mastering Made Easy has exactly what you just asked me for. So go get Mastering Made Easy. You can get it for 50% off, my friend. Go buy it. And that will show you how to master in Studio One version 5. A few different methods on how you do it. I also show you how to do a light mastering in Ozone 9. So go check that out. It's there already. Let's see. Any other questions? Let me scroll up and make sure I didn't miss any questions here. Let's see. Someone says, Dave, my 2011 iMac doesn't have enough metal graphics for CLA Epic. How can I get around this so I can purchase the plugin? I don't know. 2011, you got an old computer. That's part of the problem. Some of these new plugins that are coming out and some of the new DAWs, they won't run on this old hardware anymore. You may at one point you might be in the market for an upgrade. I mean, it's funny. Prior to, I just upgraded. I had a 2011 iMac for a long time and it worked beautifully. It worked perfectly. But whenever you get into running new softwares and new plugins and stuff, some applications just don't run on that old hardware anymore, or it doesn't run well. So I don't know how you get around it. I think the way you get around it is you got to get yourself, maybe, 9 years, you're into almost 10 years. That computer is 10 years old. The good thing about iMacs too, by the way, which is unlike a PC in most cases, okay? iMacs, Macs in general, Apples have high resale value. For a 2011 iMac, you could still get, if it's, if the screen's in good shape, it's not all beat up, you can still get a good $1 for that thing used. Try selling a 2011 PC, a stock PC, see what you get for it. You won't. You could throw it in the garbage, pretty much. Mac stuff tends to have a high resale value. So you might be able to sell that, get some money for it, and then put that towards another computer. That would be my recommendation, unfortunately. Okay, let me scroll down here. What are any questions at all? Let me see what we got here. Let's see. How would you go about making YouTube videos using my Studio Live for the audio portion of it? How would I go about? Well, when I used the Studio Live 32, I was making YouTube videos. I mean, I was just using the Studio Live 32 as an audio interface. In YouTube videos, I use the program on a Mac. I use ScreenFlow to capture the screen, if that's what you're asking. On a PC, it would be something like Camtasia or Movie Maker or one of those. But as far as using it, I would just use the Studio Live 32 as a regular interface. That's what I did when I had it. There's nothing special to it, really. The Studio Live 32 is just a huge interface, is all it really is. Let's see. Multask, hey, how are you? Have you tried the mono up mix by Shep's plugin at Plugin Alliance? No, I have not. No, Plugin Alliance has a couple of those plugins that kind of create 3D space and stuff, and I haven't demoed them yet. I just started to develop a relationship with Plugin Alliance to where we might be doing some work together. I've been trying to get them for a long time to be one of the sponsors at mixingmadeeasy.net, because I've probably, with my recommendation to you guys, have probably sold hundreds of their plugins, because some of their plugins are really good. Their channel strips, that reference plugin, Metric AB, is awesome. And they know that. They've seen my videos. They've given me the plugins, they've given me my plugins in thanking me for the videos. They want me to do more reviews. They've asked me to recently. But now my deal is, if I'm going to do reviews for companies, they have to give me plugin licensing so I could give them away to you guys if you're a member of mixingmadeeasy.net. That's just the way it works. I don't get paid to do plugin reviews. I get asked every single week. I get asked by different companies to do plugin reviews. Half of them I turn down because I don't like their plugins. If you see a video on my YouTube channel, it's because I like it. If I don't like it, I don't do the video. But I don't take compensation for it. I just want free plugin licenses. I want to give that to you. So I'm working on that with Plugin Alliance, and maybe we'll check out some of their more space things, 3D things in the future. But I'm still working on that with them. David says he's so angry. David, it's okay, brother. It's all right. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Robbie says, I got a new creation station coming. Creation station. Oh, that's the Sweetwater PC. Awesome. Awesome. Hopefully, did you use my affiliate link? Hopefully you did. I'm only teasing. Older Macs are great for Linux. Yeah, older Macs are okay. Someone in the chat was asking me about the 32. I thought it was DJ. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. This is an awesome stream. Thank you, Alistair. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I'm doing okay. I'm managing things okay without my partner Dave here. We're gonna have to figure out why Dave can't get into the thing. There must be something flaky going on with YouTube today for some stupid reason. But anyway, okay, cool. So any other questions? We've been on here, about an hour and 15 minutes. So we'll start to button things up. If you guys have any questions, I'd be glad to answer. Ian says, Dave, how's your family holding up? Oh, family's doing well. We're safe. We're healthy. Hope you guys all are as well. We're dealing with things just the way all you guys are. You know, my daughter's home doing distant learning and, we're holding up okay, but thank you for asking. We're doing okay. Getting a little bit of cabin fever, but we're doing all right. You know, it could be worse. It could be worse, right? We hopefully 2021 is going to be a better year for everybody. So, but I appreciate you asking, and I hope you and your family's doing well as well. Let's see. DJ Red, Big Red says, maybe Dave never refreshed it when he reconnected after whatever issue he had. No, I did refresh the stream, and I just checked Dave's thing. He's listed as the moderator. I don't know what's wrong. Donnie, thank you, Donnie. Thank you. Robbie says, I will make a UA MK2 purchase. Oh yeah, the UA Universal Audio. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you're looking to get Universal Audio, Sweetwater has all kinds of crazy deals going on now with Universal Audio. Discounts on their hardware, and I get some free plugins. You can choose custom packages. You could pick your own plugins, that kind of thing. So if you're looking to get into UA, I always tell people, if you're looking to get into Universal Audio hardware and get into the ecosystem, the best time to get in is Christmas time at Sweetwater, because that's when all their deals go on. And you can get like 48 months, in some cases 60 months of interest-free financing with Sweetwater. So it's really cool. Really cool. Let's see. Dave said he was able to like the video 4 times. That's awesome. Yeah, by the way, make sure everybody gives me the thumbs up if you don't mind. That would be pretty awesome. Alistair says, when is mono reverb applicable in today's music production? Well, you know, some people would say that, you know, if you have like a single mono lead vocal, why would you send it to a stereo track? You could send it to a mono reverb. I guess you can. To me, mono reverbs, I don't know, maybe it's just my brain. It always sounds like it's a little bit more hollow sounding to me. And so I typically will always use stereo. I guess there would be a way, maybe a time and a place for when a mono might be applicable, but I don't know of any. I mean, I don't really come across it. I don't really think of it that way. But Robbie says, take care. See you next week. See you next week, Robbie. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Ian says, I have to go back to officiating in soccer. I miss it so much. My favorite job. Yeah, no, I know. Hopefully. Ian says, would rather go UA than Plugin Alliance. Well, UA will cost you a lot more money, that's for sure. Plugin Alliance makes good stuff, man. Nurse said, I was hoping to see some tape delay techniques. Well, we used a little bit of tape delay on that lead vocal. Again, I typically don't use it in that way. To be honest, usually I use tape for more saturation, not for more tape delay, although the CLA Epic does have it. Maybe now that I have that plugin, I'll play with it a little bit more. Again, get something like the Epic and play around with the presets. Play around with the presets and find something that you like. You know, keep it simple is what I would tell you. Cool. All right. So if we don't have any other questions, I want to thank everybody for dealing with some of the technical difficulties tonight. Sorry for having to restart the stream. That might be one of the reasons why Dave can't get in. I don't know. But we still had a good turnout tonight. Again, the replay will be up here on YouTube by tomorrow morning, so you can check it out. Again, make sure you go to the website. Make sure you're checking out everything. Make sure you get your Christmas discount coupon code. And again, if you're on my email list, you'll see that email tomorrow anyway. But if you're not, this gives you an opportunity to check it out. And I will see you guys maybe next week. Wednesday is the next week, Christmas week. I forget what day. We'll have to take a look at the calendar, but we'll button this up in the next couple of weeks. So if I don't see all of you, have a great Christmas and holiday. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you guys very soon. Thank you, everybody.